Okay, in this demo, I'm going to set up the digital contract for eBoats Tampa. Looking at their waiver, it's a two-page waiver, and it looks like the section outlined in blue is admin only, or the section that the staff would fill in. So we'll go ahead and go on to signwave.com. Pulls up our homepage here. Just go ahead and click sign up. And for now, I'll email you a simple password. You can change it later and sign up. Go ahead and complete the profile. Okay, so besides updating your profile, the first thing you'll do when you come in is go into templates, and we're going ahead and add a new template. And we'll start off with the title, so the paragraph form here. So drag that over. And I do have to put in some custom HTML tags to make the text centered. And looks like it's also underlined. Add that in. Eventually we'll have an editor that'll pop up, much like when you use Microsoft Word. When you use Microsoft Word, it'll show bold, italicized, underline, left, center, right, justify. So we'll have that built in eventually, but for now I just got to put in that custom HTML tag to get the text appear correct. And it looks like the first question is, how did you hear about us? And to make it easier on the customer, I'm going to put in a list of checkboxes. And I'll go ahead and put in some options here. Other. So these green boxes, they add a new section, and the red one is delete. Same thing with in the template editor. You can click on a green box to copy it, or red to delete. And as you notice, as I'm updating these changes, it automatically saves. And also under the general options, you can make a box required or not required. In this instance, we're asking who they were referred by. Well, if they weren't referred by anybody, they're not going to want to type in anything there, so it's not going to be required. There's also an admin-only box. I'll get to that in a second. But essentially what that does is makes it hidden, so the customers can't fill that out, and the staff will fill it out on the back end. We'll show that in a second here. And it looks like we've got name, cell phone, address, email, city, state, zip code. Put this in here. And if you notice, this customer bundle, when we added that element, that customer bundle has an option down here to create a customer record. That's very important because that's what creates a database that will be used to be marketed to down the road as we add in more advanced features. And it looks like you wanted to be very sure that they're entering a cell phone number, not just a home phone number. Okay, And now we've got the section that has a bunch of admin-only information. So we've got reservation date, so we'll pick the date element. We'll make that admin-only. We've got time reserved from. That's admin-only. Time reserved to. Admin-only. And this is going to be the name of boat reserved and assigned. Now we could actually make this a drop-down box or a checkbox field if we already know the names of the boats, but for now I'll just leave it blank. Okay, so now we're done with the admin-only section with that's designated by the blue boxes on the original paper form. Go ahead and add another element, and we've got a paragraph element, and this mentions cancellations. I'll go ahead and fill the rest of that in later. Same with that section, I'll fill that in later. And it looks like we track the reservation made by. The one nice thing is that the forms will have a date and time stamp on it, so we'll know when the customer filled out the form and when the staff member updated the form. We've got date, time. Okay, and then on the back of the contract, we've got 7 items that are initial boxes. So go ahead and add in an input inline, and this simply means that the there can be text both before and after whatever we're inputting, but we don't have anything going in before, but there is stuff going in afterwards, and we'll go ahead and make this extra small. Now, if it's not a problem with the business, I would suggest using a checkbox instead of an initial box. It's much easier on the customers. So if you put in a checkbox, delete out the label, delete out the option so there's just one option, you could type in the question text. And that way when the customer's filling it out, all they have to do is check it. They don't have to write their initials, but for now, I'll just leave it identical to the paper version. So this will be question number 1. And I'll fill the rest out later. And we'll add in another element of input inline. We've got another paragraph element. This will say acceptance of terms and conditions. Could fill the rest of that in later. Got signature for the response responsible party signature. Responsible party print and date. Form saves automatically. I'll go ahead and fill out the rest of this stuff here in a second. Okay, so looks like I've got everything all typed up here. And if I need to make any changes to anything we've got in here, you can just simply select an element, and then the edit element will pop up by default, and you can make whatever changes you'd like to make. Or if you'd wanted to add an element in, of course, add it by dragging and dropping. Delete that out. But everything looks pretty good here. Do a little bit of proofreading here.
Got all the text typed in, and we've also got the text highlighted as it was on the fixed contract. And we've got signature, print date.
And if you'd like to see how this form looks out on the internet, you can click this preview button. Before I do that, though, we've got a name for the waiver. We'll call this eBoats rental contract. Status is active. It also has an access URL. This is where your customers will actually find this form and where this form will actually exist on the internet. By default, you're given a random access URL. We can change that. So we'll go ahead and change that to eBoats Tampa. And we can also give an exit URL. So if the customers are filling this out on their own phone, they'll be directed to a website after they fill out this form. Most companies are using their Facebook page, and the reason being is after the customer fills it out, especially if they're on their own device, all they have to do is click like on their own phone. Since they're already logged into the Facebook account on their own phone, they just click like and your business will get much more likes that way. So we'll go ahead and fill in this exit URL. And we'll go ahead and preview this form. So this is what this form looks like out on the internet. And in the next video, I'll go ahead and show how it looks on an iPad and kind of walk you through the workflow that your staff would use this with along with your customers.